Greetings, Champ Car racers, and welcome to your virtual drivers meeting for the upcoming VIR South 12-hour event, obviously on the VIR South course. And as usual, I'm going to read this right off the page so I get it right. Welcome to your TireRack.com Champ Car Endurance Series drivers meeting. As always, we'd like to thank our sponsors, including obviously Tire Rack and Frozen Rotors, Racing Radios, Lifeline Fire Suppression Systems, RVA Graphics and Wraps, Bell Helmets, the official helmets of Champ Car, and UUC Motorworks. Also, we'd like to say a special thank you to the Chandler School, who sponsors our Sportsmanship Award, and our class sponsors, Discovery Parts and MoneyShiftRacing.com. So huge thank you to the sponsors. They help keep the cost of racing down for you guys, so we appreciate them very much. Okay, moving on to the meats, nuts and bolts, meat and potatoes of this thing. As I've done for most of the last year, let's start with COVID. It's still a thing. It's still out there. Every state has different regulations when it comes to how we have to operate under COVID. The latest information that I have from Virginia is that we are not subject to the 250-person max count that we had the last time we were there in December. However, we are limited to event participants only. That's probably a good place to remind everybody that the Champ Car Endurance Series is considered a non-spectator organization. We are not insured to have spectators. So people ask all the time about spectators. And the technical answer is no. We do allow the sale of one-day memberships at certain events, but technically still you're joining the Champ Car organization for one day. You're not technically a spectator. But to tighten that up even more here at the Virginia track, everyone must be a participant in the event. That means you have to be on your team's roster in some way, shape, or form, whether as a driver or a crew member. It doesn't matter what your classification is, but we need you to be registered on your team roster. They don't want friends, family, various, other people showing up. It's just what we have to do right now to be in compliance with Virginia's laws so we can operate the race. So as we've done before, please have everyone that's coming with your team registered in advance on your team's roster as either a driver or a crew member, get their memberships taken care of up front. Thursday, before we roll in, I will use our registration system to pull a gate entry roster directly from the registration systems. I will provide that roster to the track. The security people at the gate will have a copy of that roster, and they will verify you against your team roster, and that's how you'll be allowed in. If you're not on that roster, you will not be allowed in the gate. So team captains, team members, please make sure you have everybody that's going to come registered in advance so I can pull that list off. If we have any last minute issues, I can certainly work with you and get some additional information in, but it behooves everybody and it makes the process go smoother. Please have everything listed in advance on your team roster. That's just what we're subject to right now, and I'm sure it'll continue to evolve, but that's the latest information I have. Okay, moving on from there. Talked about this in the email that I sent out to the team captains a couple weeks ago. And after much work with Rob Verena, and a huge thank you to Rob Verena for his time to roll this thing out, we are finally able to go live with the self-check form on the registration site. What this will allow you to do is to fill out your tech form for your car, valuation, points, engine swaps, anything you need to claim on the car that you've done that would be valued, even 0-point items need to be listed on there. But essentially that paper form that you brought with you to tech, now you'll be able to fill it out online before you get to the event. It is only available to the team captains. The team captains, when you log in to Champ Car on that first landing page where you see pay for an event, enter an event, add crew members, etc., there'll be a new button over there that's a tech button, right? Self-tech. Click on that. It's very self-explanatory. It's all drop-down boxes or check boxes. You don't have to calculate the individual points. They're already self-calculated in there. You just need to know what parts you have on your car. There's a section for some comments. Fill that out, hit save, and you're done. When you get to tech at VIR, you'll still have to report to tech, but they will simply look at the safety equipment on your car, send you on your way, and you're done. We're not mandating it for this race, and we are specifically rolling it out for this race as kind of a test session, kind of beta testing this thing. I know some of you are more or less comfortable with the computer systems, but if you are comfortable with it and you have the details on your car, please take a minute, log in, fill that form out. It should greatly speed up the tech process as you roll through. If we're encountering some problems with it, we can make the changes before we roll it out for the next event. In the bigger picture, once you've filled this out and saved it, it will stay with your car for the entire year. You don't have to redo it every time you go to a different race. It will stay with you just like your annual tech stays with you. If you need to make changes, if you're one of these people like, oh, I don't know, a random non-specific person who drives a bright yellow MR2 and likes to change your car between events, initials may start with Bill Strong, you can make changes between events. The tech form will open up 2 weeks prior to whatever the next event is, and you can log in and you can make your changes to your form. Again, it's your car, you know your equipment on it, tally it up as appropriate, and it'll save. Whatever the most recent one is you've done, it will save. It will stay in the system saved until you log in again and make any changes to it. Everybody will get more comfortable with it as it rolls out, I'm sure. But for VIR, the size of the event, the number of people that will come in, we thought it'd be a really good opportunity there to beta test this thing. So please do us and Champ Car a favor if you can. Please log in, get that thing filled out. It'll help us smooth the process out, make this thing easier for you guys. This is part of response to what we've been hearing, trying to be more responsive on some of the things that are causing you guys some heartache and some time waste. And one of those that I've heard loud and clear is how long it takes to get through tech. And this is one of the many things we're trying to do to make that process easier. So fill the form out for yourself. You know your car, you know your information. Fill it out, document it. It'll tally up the points. And then when you come to tech, we'll only have to check your safety equipment, and we'll be able to send you out from there. So enough said about that. I'll have a little more information in the email that this video will be a part of when it gets to you. If you got any questions, reach out to me, but it should be pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so moving on to the event. As usual, most of you guys have probably been to our events before, so kind of repeating some well-trodden ground here. But the times for the event are 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Remember that that's green flag on track at 9 o'clock. So please be in your pit stall, ready to go no later than 8:45. About 8:45, maybe closer to 8:50, we'll roll the cars off pit lane. We'll take 2 laps around the track. On the second lap, we'll bring the pace car in. And if I've done my math right, you'll be at the line at 9 o'clock and we will be racing. We'll race straight through until 9 p.m. and be done. It will be dark. We're going to ask for the headlights to be on the cars at 5, and that means mounted and turned on. The reason we ask for that a little bit earlier than sunset is it gives us plenty of time to communicate with you if something isn't working on your car or some of the lights are out or whatever the issue is, without having to black flag you in the dark and end up ruining somebody's race because we had to pull you in. Also, remember, please, when it comes to the headlights, we see this a lot. You'll roll your team out and you'll turn on the great big spotlights on the front of the car, and you'll forget to turn on the side marker lights. So when your car leaves your pit stall and your lights are on, remember to turn on the side marker lights and the headlights on the car, right? You got to have your 2 rear tail lights, your side marker lights, and your headlights. So just remember to turn both on when you roll out there. Once you get rolling, as you guys know, maximum 2-hour stint for each driver in the car. Starts when you roll out at pit out, ends when you come to pit in. You come on pit lane, everyone stops at pit in all the time, no exceptions. Doesn't matter why you're coming in, going behind the wall, going for a fuel stop, coming in to yell at your teammate, doesn't matter. You stop at pit in, we'll put the timer on the car, send you on your way. Pit lane speed, 20 miles an hour. All races for Champ Car for this year, 20 miles an hour. Makes it easier for you guys, makes it easier for me, makes it easier for everybody to remember what the pit lane speed limit is. 20 miles an hour. If you think you're making really good time on pit lane, you're probably going too fast and you should slow down. 20 miles an hour pit lane speed. When you come to your pit box, please do not have anybody out over the wall before your car comes to a complete stop in the box. If you've been to the South Course of VIR before, you know it's kind of small and kind of tight. Right now we have 42 cars signed up for the event, so it'll be a little tight in there, especially for the first couple of pit stops. So please, nobody over the wall till the car gets into your pit box. If you are going to take fuel, remember, 5 people involved in the fuel stop. The fuel stop starts when the gas cap comes off the car or fuel equipment goes over, again, we're not going to beat you guys up too much if you start to set a fuel jug up and then realize, oh, wait, we made a mistake. We're not going to do it. You pull it back. But the real big thing is the gas cap. When the gas cap comes off, you are fueling. From that moment, everybody over the wall on your team must be in full safety gear. Basically, the same equipment that you wear when you're in the car. That's a suit, socks, gloves, balaclava if it's required for you, full face helmet with the visor down. The only thing I didn't mention there was shoes. We will allow you to wear closed-toed lace-up shoes rather than your driving shoes, but they've got to be closed-toed lace-up shoes while you're doing this. You're allowed, like I say, 5 people. One person, arguably the most important person on the stop, fire bottle. 10-pound ABC dry chemical fire extinguisher with the pin pulled, holding it properly, ready to put it into use if you need to. The rules say 10 feet. Basically, think 3 adult steps. The bottom line here is I don't want you so close to the stop that if something goes wrong, that you're part of the fire instead of far enough back to react to it and spray some fire extinguisher on it. One person handling fuel jugs. One person only. Carry the jug over, pour it in the car, put it back. Make sure you put your 3-inch hard-sided drip pan under the point where you're conducting the fueling. You are allowed to use an overflow jug. You can plug in an overflow jug, but you still have to have the drip pan too. 3-inch hard-sided drip pan goes along with this. The other 3 people are the driver in and the driver out, and one person to help the drivers get in and out of the car. Remember, everybody over the wall has got to have full safety gear on with the helmet, face shield down. Question comes up now and again, open face helmets. We will allow you to race with an open face helmet. I wouldn't recommend it, but you're allowed to race with an open face helmet. However, you cannot be over the wall or in the car while you're conducting fueling. So if you want to drive with an open face helmet, you're going to have to wait and get in and out of the car either before or after they do the fueling process for the car. Once the gas cap goes back on and anything burnable, right? All the gear is back over the wall. Really what I'm focused on here is the last half empty fuel jug and the drip pan that's half full of gasoline. Get that stuff back over the wall, put the gas cap back on. After that point, then you can do whatever else you want to the car. During the fueling process, the only thing you can do is change the driver. Change the driver. Driver out, driver in. That's it. No water bottles, no cameras, no adjusting the radio, no checking tire pressures, no changing windshields, any of that. The only thing you can do is switch the driver in and out. Once the gas cap goes on and all the explosive Bernie bits go back over the wall, then you can do whatever you want to for the car. You can service whatever you think you need to, clean your windshields, check your oil, that kind of stuff. You're allowed to service the car in your pit stall. We ask that you limit your servicing to 30 minutes. You can't get done whatever you think you need to do in 30 minutes. Please take your car back to the paddock behind the wall. Be considerate of the people who are sharing the pit boxes with you. So, and you can pretty much do what you want. We've actually had a team down here at Sebring that can change an engine in a Volkswagen in less than 30 minutes. So it's not so much what you do, it's just how long you're going to be there to do it. So when you leave your pit stall, you go down to pit out, you're going to stop at pit out. Everybody stops at pit out. Period. Hard stop. No second page. Stop at pit out. Doesn't matter if you're doing a complete fuel stop or if you came from black flag or behind the wall or you just rolled down pit lane to wave at your crew members. It doesn't matter. Everybody stops at pit out. We will take the timer off the car and check it for the 5 minutes. If you did not take fuel, you can tell the person at pit out, no fuel. But remember, it's your responsibility to let us know that. We're going to assume you're there for 5 minutes unless you tell us otherwise. Additionally, again, no matter why you came down pit lane, be prepared to wait a second. We're going to check your window net and we're going to do a quick cursory check of your safety equipment, right? This is my giant liability statement here. It is you and your team's responsibility to buckle your driver into the car properly. We will do a quick visual cursory check. If something's not set over the Hans device properly, or if a belt isn't latched properly, or the window net's down, we'll try to fix it if we can. But if it's not something that my staff at pit out can manage, they're going to turn you around and send you back to your pit stall. So it behooves you to take a minute to get your driver buckled in properly before you send them down to pit out. Most importantly, they're going to check your wristband. Make sure your wristband is on your left hand. Be prepared to show it. They will check your wristband every time you leave pit out. Even if you left pit out and you just came in for a black flag and you're on your 4th visit to black flag because you really like Jimmy, it doesn't matter. They're going to check your wristband every single time. So be prepared when you get to pit out. show your wristband, let them check your safety gear real quick. They'll check your timer for your 5 minutes, and they'll send you on your way. Off you go back to racing. Track conditions while you're racing. Obviously, everybody likes the green flag. Green flag will be displayed at the start finish, at the start of the race, and any time that we go back to racing after a pace car has been out. Other than that, no flags means green flag at every station, and you can go racing. ChampCar uses line of sight rules, which simply stated means if you can see the flag, that flag is for you, specifically the yellow. Yellow flag is displayed 2 ways, standing yellow and waving yellow. Standing yellow, 70% race speed, 70% of your race speed, no passing. And the moment you see that flag, line up, nose to tail, no passing. A couple other organizations I know deal with, you can be alongside as long as you don't complete the pass and all these other things. None of that for ChampCar. We're trying to keep things really safe. Nose to tail, line of stern, no passing. The minute you see that standing yellow flag. Waving yellow flag, same thing, no passing, 50% race speed. That's 50% of your race speed. Slow down, because that means you're coming right to where the incident is. We want no passing. We want you to go through there safely. Once you get past the incident and you can see the next corner station has no flag displayed, then you can go back to racing, right? Not before. If you want a deeper explanation of this kind of stuff, please take a minute to watch our new driver video. There'll be a link to it in this email. There's also a link to it on the ChampCar forum. I do a much deeper dive into on-track behavior, pit lane, flag, that kind of stuff. But the big thing, reminder for everybody all the time, 70% race speed for standing, 50% race speed for waving, no passing, line of sight. You can see that flag is for you. Special note here for VIR. If you've run at VIR before, you're probably familiar with this, but VIR uses what's called a code 35 flag. I found the best way to explain this is to start off by talking to all my fellow F1 fans. And as soon as I say virtual safety car, all the F1 fans go, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Essentially is a virtual safety car. This is how it will work. You will see the flag come out. You will see a standing yellow displayed all around the entire track, which means 70% race speed and no passing. Then you will see a second flag come out. It's purple and white. It's got a great big 35 in the middle of it. They want you to slow down to 35 miles an hour. So everybody's still circulating on the track. Everybody's at 35 miles an hour. They move the safety trucks. They clear up whatever incident they're trying to take care of. And as soon as the incident's clear, they withdraw the purple flag. So now you're back to a standing yellow, which is 70% race speed. And a moment after that, they withdraw the yellow flag and you're back to racing. It allows us to clear up minor incidents on the racetrack. Debris, broken down cars, small contact. It allows us to clear that stuff up extremely quickly. The question always comes up, what if somebody's going too fast on the lap? And the truth is that 9 times out of 10, they can clear the incident before a car goes around the entire course under caution. So we don't even get a chance to get a full lap and a time on them. By the way, that's not a free pass to speed under caution. My point is that we can clear the incident so quickly that we don't have to put the pace car out. And what it does is it allows me to get you guys back to green flag racing as quickly as possible, which is what we all paid to come there and do. So if you haven't been there before, the first time you see it, it'll be pretty self-explanatory. If you have been, obviously you're aware of it, but that's a unique feature to VIR. So enough said about that. Black flag will be displayed as usual. There's either a black flag or what we call a meatball, black flag with a big red dot in the middle of it. Again, deeper dive into flags in the new driver video, but either way, if you see one of those black flags, just report to pit in. The nice gentleman named Jimmy at Black Flag, many of you know him very well. He'll tell you what the situation is, whether it was a behavior thing, or a lot of times we just want to have a look at the car, right? Something's falling off, something's dragging, something's leaking. You might have had contact with somebody else, or we had reported contact, and just want to discuss and find out what happened. Either way, just report the Black Flag. Jimmy will tell you what happened, and we'll get you back to racing as soon as we can. Red flag. Again, deeper dive on this in the new driver video, but to put it shortly, the red flag means something really, really bad happened on the track. I have a driver out. I have a driver on fire. I have a car upside down, track blockage. Something bad happened. I need to stop all the cars quickly so I can move my safety vehicles. Please bring your car to a swift smooth stop on the racetrack. Do not slam on the brakes. And it doesn't necessarily mean you've got to stop at the flag. If you're doing 100 miles an hour on the straightaway and you see the flag, you're probably going to roll past it. Think of the red flag as you see brake lights on the interstate when you're heading to work and you're like, oh, I'm going to be late. So just pull over to one side of the racetrack or the other. I don't care which side, but pull over to the same side as everybody else. If the car in front of you pulls over to the left, then pull over to the left with them. Remember, the purpose of the flag is to move the safety vehicles as quickly as possible. So the sooner you get slowed down and stopped and clear the track, the sooner I can get the rescue vehicles out to the incident, and the sooner we can get you guys circulating again. We will never, ever go from a red flag immediately back to green. That will not happen. If it's really, really quick, we may go from red back to standing yellow everywhere until we're confident that everybody is circulating, and then go right back to green. Or we will send the pace car out, pick the leader up, go black flag, and bring the whole field into pit lane. Either one of those two things will happen. How long will you be sitting under a red flag till we figure it out? It's Virginia, the first part of March. It's not too very hot, but I know sitting in the cars is uncomfortable. 5 minutes tops. Within 5 minutes, we should be able to know whether we're able to quickly clear the incident and get circulating again, or whether we'll bring you down pit lane. Just be patient with us and pull over and stop and let us clear the incident, and then we'll get you back to moving again. Okay, enough said about that. The last thing for yellow flags is a full course double yellow. If you see the full course double yellows come out, right? 2 flags, 1 on each side, yellow flag hanging there, slow down and look for the pace car. Double yellow flag means the pace car is coming out. 2 things are important here. If you're the leader of the race, congratulations. Good job. You're the leader of the race. Look for the pace car. Know the pace car is coming out. Know you're the leader, and look for Jackie coming off pit lane. She will race you and she will enjoy it. And that BMW of hers is pretty quick. So she'll race you down the front straightaway and she'll probably catch you. But please don't make her do that. If you know you're the leader, please look for the pace car and fall in behind her. If you're not the leader, catch up to the car in front of you. Everybody in a race car, if you're wearing a helmet and driving a race car and you're on the track under a double yellow flag, you should see a car out your windshield. If you're lucky, it's the pace car. If you're not lucky, it'll be another race car. But if you see 2 yellow flags and nothing else, catch up to the field. Please, I'm begging you, please catch up to the field. Again, the reason we have to put the pace car out is because for whatever reason, we need a lot of clear track to clear our incident. We need everybody bunched up behind the pace car so we have a large area of clear space on the racetrack so that we can work the incident. The quicker you guys all catch up to the field, the quicker we can clear the incident, the quicker we can get the pace car back in, and the quicker I can get you guys back to green flag racing, because ultimately, like I say, that's what you guys paid to come there to do. And that's what I want to give you, is as much green flag experience as I possibly can. So enough said about that. Several guys asked us over the years about practice sessions before the events. At some events, we're able to run a practice session ourselves, ChampCar. Other events, we've started partnering with other agencies that are able to run the practice for us. In this case, HOD, the same people that ran the practice event for us down here at Palm Beach last year, Hooked on Driving. They're running a practice event on Thursday and Friday out of the North Paddock. Go to the HOD, the Hooked on Driving HOD website, look under events, and you'll find the VIR event there. There's special pricing available for ChampCar people. And what it basically boils down to is that they will not charge you for extra drivers. Normally, HOD charges by the driver, but for ChampCars, they'll charge by the car, no driver limit. So if you're looking to get a little extra track time, please surf over to the HOD website. And at the track, when you see me, we get a chance to talk, give me a little feedback on that if you run it. Adam, who runs the event down here, is a good friend of mine, and we've been talking about trying to do this more to give you guys that practice time. So we're looking at in the future doing stuff like that, where HOD will run the practice session for us on Friday. It allows us to work cooperatively together so that we can load into the to the paddock, especially at some tracks where we share the paddock space. So we're hoping to make that more of a regular thing. But I like a little feedback on how it runs from you guys. Little refresher, a little more further information on what you'd like to see to make that work out better for you. And there's a lot of options out there in the sports car racing world right now, especially in the amateur level. And those of you guys that choose to race with us, those of you guys that choose to stay with us and come back a lot, we appreciate it very much. And to a little expand on that, we are unique in the amateur sports car racing world, the endurance world like this, in that we are a member-owned club. This is your club. This is not a private business. This is a member-owned organization. So this is your club. And ultimately, I want to give you guys the racing experience that you want from your club. But if you've got some input on how you think things ought to be, then please be involved. It is an open book, and it is your club, and we appreciate you guys racing with us. So thank you, and thank you, Paulie, for reminding me about that. That's all I've got. I don't see Paulie leaning forward with anything else. So again, thank you guys very much. Again, it's a privilege to do this for you guys, and I look forward to seeing you at Virginia. Thanks. Travel safe.